Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're digging into some sources covering a really packed weekend of Schoolboy Rugby.
Yeah, Saturday the 31st was pretty intense across the board. We've got a weekend wrap-up article that covers quite a bit.
Right, focusing particularly on the King Price Derby series, but also some other, big clashes.
Exactly. The article really lays out the scores, the drama, some incredible moments. Sounds good. Let's start. I think we have to start in City of Gold. Huge King Price Derby doubleheader there.
And the standout game surely has to be Jackie hosting Affies on Collard Field.
Oh, absolutely. The article points out, the rankings before the match had Affies way ahead, like 24 spots higher back in mid-May.
So on paper, maybe a mismatch.
You'd think so. But Jeppy at home.
Yeah.
They clearly didn't read that script.
Yeah.
The game it exploded from the whistle.
The article mentions 28 points combined in just the first 15 minutes.
Yeah. Crazy start. And the whole first half was like that, really. 6 tries scored in total before the break.
Wow. So high scoring. What was the halftime score then?
Affies were just ahead, 24-17. So still very much anyone's game.
And it sounds like the second half became a bit of a fly half battle.
It really did. Jeppy's Nehemia Hollenbach and Affies Ruben Grunwald, they were kind of central to everything that happened next. Trading kicks, controlling play.
Hollenbach pulling Jeppy closer with some penalties.
Yeah, he slotted a couple early on.
Yeah.
But then, a big moment, Jeppy got a yellow card from Gigi.
Ah, okay. And Affies made them pay.
They did. Pretty clinical. Went over for a try while they had the man advantage. That pushed the score to 29-23 Affies.
So with time running out, Affies looked like they might have secured it?
You'd think so, yeah. But the last 5 minutes, the article says 22 points were scored. Just unbelievable.
22 points in 5 minutes. How?
It was just chaos. First, Jeppy needed a try, and they got it. Lulani and Kambuli scores. Suddenly, it's 29-28.
Okay, 1 point game, nail-biting stuff.
And then it's the kickers. Real test of nerve. Grunewald for Affies makes it 32-29.
Right.
Then Hollenbach responds for Jeppy. Hang on, the article says 33-32.
Wait, 33-32? So Jeppy actually took the lead back.
Yeah, looks like it. Hollenbach's kick puts them ahead. But then, almost immediately, Grunewald gets another penalty chance for Affies.
No way.
Yes, and he slots it. So now it's 35-33 to Affies. Barely any time left. Well, this is where it gets really wild. Hollenbach for Jeppy drops back and hits a drop goal.
A drop goal to win it or draw.
To take the lead. It would have made it 36-35. The crowd went absolutely insane, you can imagine.
Unbelievable. Jeppy snatches it at the death.
That's what everyone thought.
Yeah.
But the article immediately says the immediate collapse into agony.
Oh no, what happened?
Affies restart. Jeppy knock it on. An offside penalty against Jeppy. Literally, the dying second.
But you cannot be serious after the drop goal.
I know. And who steps up for Affies? Grunewald again.
The fly half duel continues right to the final whistle.
He lines it up and kicks it. Buzzer beater. Affies win.
Wow. Just wow. Talk about snatching victory from the jaws of defeat and then having it snatched back again.
Exactly. The article calls it the latest of wins. Affies just escaped. What a roller coaster. You feel for Hollenbach, but Grunewald's nerve was incredible too.
That is absolutely insane. Okay, deep breaths. There was another Josie game in the series, though.
Yes, KES, King Edward School. They were playing St. Benedict's College.
And KES needed a response, right, after losing to Affies the week before.
They did, and they got one. Pretty comprehensive, the article says. Men at home.
33-0. That's dominant.
Very. And tough for St. Benedict's. The article notes it's their second game in a row without scoring. They lost 17-0 to St. John's the previous week.
Ouch. Okay, let's shift provinces down to KZN, Maritzburg College versus Kearsney.
Yep, a big provincial derby.
Right.
And a good result for Maritzburg College. They won 35-20.
Strong performance. And it was their reunion weekend, too.
Yeah, the article mentions guys like Jesse Creel, Springbok old boys were there watching. Adds a bit of extra pressure, maybe.
Or inspiration. They also got revenge for last year's loss, didn't they?
It did. Kearsney won narrowly last time, 16-14. So this was sweet for Maritzburg. And it follows that really good effort they put in against Westville, even though they lost that one. Shows they're building something.
Good stuff. All right, final King Price game mentioned was Framesby versus Pearson, down in the Eastern Cape.
That's right. Pearson are described as a sort of up-and-coming. They'd already beaten Queens earlier in the season.
And how did this one end up?
A draw. 19 all. So bragging rights shared in that derby.
A draw, okay. Any late drama there, too. Seems to be the theme.
Oh, yes. Especially for the home team, Framesby.
Yeah.
The article uses the word capitulation.
That doesn't sound good.
No. Apparently, right near the end, they conceded a red card. And then, while down a man, conceded a converted try. Just like that, the lead gone.
Oh, that's brutal. To lose the lead and a player right at the death.
It gets worse. The article says Framesby's Jaden Brewis then had a penalty chance in stoppage time to actually win it back for them. He missed it. So instead of potentially snatching the win back, they end with a draw after being ahead. That must absolutely sting. Discipline and composure right to the end. So crucial.
Absolutely. Okay, so those were the main featured games. The article also rattled off a few other significant results.
Yeah, just a quick roundup. Paul Roos beat SECS pretty comfortably, 22-3. Keenan Stoffel starring again for them.
He seems to do that a lot.
Doesn't he? And then Gray PE. Oh, tough one for them. Another 1-point loss. Second week in a row.
Seriously, who beat them this time?
Eastern Cape rivals, St. Andrews, 28-27. Got a feel for Gray losing 2 on the trot by a single point.
That's incredibly unlucky, or maybe something about closing games out under pressure.
Could be. Something to watch, definitely. Elsewhere, Michael House got a win over Pretoria boys, 31-24. DHS beat Hilton. And Paul boys apparently made light work of Stellenberg.
So action all over the country, really.
Absolutely packed Saturday. And that wraps up the rugby for May. The article teased things up nicely for June, promising a juicy month ahead.
Sounds like it. What a weekend that was.
It really showed everything great about schoolboy rugby, didn't it? The skill, the passion, the unbelievable drama, those cinematic finishes, results shaking things up. Just fantastic to follow.
It really is. And, thinking about this really tight finishes like Jeppy Affy's or even that Framesby draw, it does make you pause for a second. Well, you see these incredibly high highs like Hollenbach's drop goal, followed by those devastating lows like the penalty seconds later, or Framesby letting it slip right at the end. How do these young athletes, these school kids really, navigate those intense, high-stakes moments with everything on the line, crowds going wild? What does it actually take mentally to handle that pressure cooker so early in their careers? It's quite something to think about, isn't it?